Howdy folks, for today's video we are just going to do a quick tip video, and this one kind of snuck up on me. I'll give you a little bit of background real quick. So I was at one of my favorite local pawn shops, and I was talking with the pawn shop owner, and he asked me a question about if I knew any good ways to get a stuck bullet out of a barrel. And so I of course have all these different methods and ideas on how to do it, but this was his friend who had attempted to do this and had totally buggered up the whole thing. So he handed me the barrel to see if I could, well, I wanted a shot at it, so to speak, to see if I could actually get the bullets out of the barrel as well as everything else that was stuck in there. And so, anyways, come closer. Whoa, too close. Alright guys, so what we have here is a Glock 22 caliber barrel, and this had a whole lot of junk stuck inside of it. So I was told that there were 2 bullets that were stuck in here from shooting subsonic. Supposedly the first bullet got stuck and then he fired a second one. Now, after analyzing this, I knew that there was more than just 2 stuck bullets in here, because it was clogged from about right here to about right there. And that is way more than 2 bullets. And so I just wanted to throw this little bit of advice out there, a quick tip for, and I know this is kind of common knowledge for the older reloaders and shooters.
You keep that in mind. The moment you think you got it figured, you're wrong.
But I figured I'd send this out there for the newer guys. So in every range bag, I like to have a couple of what I call squib rods. And what you can use is a solid brass rod like this one. And you can get these at like Home Depot or Ace Hardware, and they're not very expensive. This is the one I use for 22s, and it was, I don't know, maybe like $8 or $10. And it was, I don't know, 3 feet, so it's pretty long. And, you know, you can cut them down to size. You want them to be just a little bit longer than, you know, the barrel. I ended up having to use this to try and knock out the garbage or push all the bullets through, and I ended up cutting a couple of these brass rods into smaller pieces to be able to get better leverage, because they will bend if they are, you know, if I were to have it this long and start hammering on it, it'll probably bend. So you want it to be just a little bit. And so it's nice to be able to cut these into different sizes, different lengths, so that it you don't have too much leverage put on bending it. But I like to have a long one for rifles and a long one, or a short one for handguns. And I like to have a fat one for the, you know, handguns, and, you know, for like bigger bore, like 9mm and all that stuff. And then for rifles, I have one like this size, and then one a little bit fatter for like 30 cals. I've actually used these also to help out some guys I saw on the range who were shooting steel cased 5.56 ammo in their AR-15, and they got the extractor ripped off the head of the steel case, and so it's real easy to take one of these brass rods and then just shove it down and knock out the steel case. These are really handy to have. Solid brass rods, they aren't too expensive, and it's nice to have a couple different sizes when you take them to the range, and also to fix, you know, stuff that gets jammed up or messed up at the range at home. So here's what we have right here. I was just going to show you guys. So apparently the friend of a friend was trying to knock this out, and he broke a part of a screwdriver in here. So I think I could tell that it was harder than lead, And so this was stuck in there, and it's surrounded by lead, as well as I think there might be some lead in front of it, and then these lead chunks right here. And so you can see that there was way more than just 2 bullets stuck in here.
Whoopsie daisy!
It was a part of a screwdriver, 2 or 3 or 4 bullets, I don't know how many there were. So the nice thing about it is, you probably can't see this, but the barrel ended up being undamaged as far as I can tell.
Merry Christmas, buddy.
You know, anytime you throw something like steel in a barrel, that's no good. So that's one of the reasons we use brass rods, is because brass is softer than the steel, and you aren't going to chip or scratch the inside of your bore. Anyways, so if you get a bullet stuck in your barrel due to a squib load, like a low powder charge, or like a primer that doesn't ignite the powder fully, or no powder at all, and the projectile gets stuck somewhere in the barrel, use a brass rod to knock it through the barrel. And anyways, hopefully this tip will save some of you some headaches. And just remember, don't use a cleaning rod, because those are hollow and they break, and they just make a mess. Well, the tips of them are usually hollow, and they're not very strong. So use a solid brass rod. It'll save you some headaches. So anyways, thanks for watching. Stay safe, have fun, and go get some brass rods.